And lastly, just in summary, this is something I've been saying, like, I've been in this in internet marketing for 13 years. I've been telling clients since '97. Search is, to me at least, the best way to market in this era. And like no other form of marketing in the past, people are themselves searching for you. And all you really have to do is be in front of them, be there when they're searching for you. And you've provided the most targeted candidate that you could possibly find because they found you.
So Tim, I think those are great tips for us. One of the pieces that I agree with you, the search engine marketing in general, right? Capitalizing on search. One of the biggest debates that we have, though, in our industry right now is the difference between active and passive. And connecting and capturing the people who are going in and doing a search for jobs is what all of that is about, right? And I think that, my organization has certainly been hearing feedback from our customers about, but I'm not interested in people who go to search for jobs. I'm interested in people who are doing them all day long. So I think we need to understand that SEO and SEM that is focused around the term jobs is an active strategy, right? And I think that as we look at the evolution of some of the cool things that are happening now, being able to target people who are actually not searching for jobs is the evolution of this. Full disclosure, obviously, the people who know that we spent the last 2 years building the Career Ad Network, which is the global leader really in job-specific, career-specific ad networks, and in the top 25 of overall ad networks. And the idea is that when I'm out doing whatever it is I'm doing, that is a point to convert me over. So and people will question that all day long. So SEO, we know the billions of searches that are happening on the word jobs. We just have to remind ourselves how much of our efforts do we put into that. Very important, billions of dollars being spent on this. But keep yourselves honest on, is this getting after the same audience that I'm getting after in other ways? Conversion, you started off with it. Get the people who are looking for you in an easy way. And I think that's where the tips are with SEO. We do a great job of that. It's free, right? But then can you speak for a few minutes on why SEM is important as well, right? Because you mentioned lots of us are fighting over those same job terms. You're going to fight as well. There's another way to not have to fight so hard, which is to just pay for it, right? So, where does SEM fit in this in your mind?
SEM and social, and I wouldn't suggest against doing the other things that you're doing already. SEM is extremely beneficial, especially for that passive candidate. I mean, it's easier to target those same keywords that you're interested in with the word jobs attached to them, and pay $10, $20, $1 a click. But if you really want to target people who aren't searching for you, SEM is a great way to do it. It costs a lot more to target the word engineering as opposed to engineering jobs. But if you do it, you could do it. You could get really complex about how you do it. Add negative words. Make sure they're not just searching for, something specific within their field. But if they are searching for a community, for example, that might be a good keyword to add onto the search term and purchase.
So I think I heard the answer that I wanted to hear, which was, we're also focused when we're buying keywords on this area to make sure that we're buying them with jobs in them. Right? And then we're just paying to be high to get after the person who's searching for jobs. Your point of if someone's searching for engineering, I'm going to pay a lot more, but if I can insert a job relevant piece of data into your general search that had nothing to do with jobs, wouldn't we all argue that's a better ad buy, even if it's more expensive? I can see the people who buy this stuff all the time looking at it. So I think, SEO, hugely important for our business to understand. It's something that you can do on your own end, free or low fee. SEM adds to the level, but certainly it speaks to the fact that we're all looking for audience and we're building audience, and we know that's about the future of how all of this stuff works. So questions for Tim from the audience. We have 1 minute. Sarah White.
I love SEO. One comment I will say, I have two. I think the statement on ATS, I would absolutely challenge that. I think there's a number of systems out there that do a very good job, and there's a number of systems that do a very poor job. So I wouldn't put a blanket statement out there about don't use your ATS, because there's some that do a very good job with SEO. Second thing
like
is
yours, right? Is yours?
Well, of course, but there's multiple people in the marketplace. The second thing I'm going to push back on is the headlines, because when you go on a site like a Monster, you go on any of the other things, if you just put something very simple, you aren't going to get sometimes the same amount of traction. And if your job posting itself, or job description, or whatever you want to call it, in itself is properly SEO'd, that's going to pull just as high as just having your headline. So it's about SEOing the whole thing, not just your headline.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's expansion versus fighting back, right? And I think, though, the point of this is, semantic search is also where we're leading. We spent $150 million in this in the last 2 years. So at some point, it's absolutely an education point. These days of, join this fabulous organization with free parking downtown to be an accountant, that does not match as well as to say accountant, right? That in the world of semantics, simple is better. And we have, over the last decade, learned how to stand out from the crowd because Boolean, semantic didn't exist. Now that it does, to go back to basics is challenging for us. So, I'll hit with that I'll get with this point that simple is better as a rule with SEO. It's bigger than just the job title, it's the description. Thank you very much, Tim, for your perspective on this. Nice round of applause for Tim. We'll be back in 10 minutes, so stay with us. Thanks, everybody.